Welcome to Fridays with Nathan and Sarah. Today last week we discussed traveling, and I hope everyone enjoyed that video of us telling stories of our travels. So this week we kind of want to focus on positive aspects of relationships. So we will discuss some healthy relationships and what made those healthy and what made us laugh about them. So
the word hindsight is coming up for me right now. Hindsight
2020. So if you want, I can kind of start. I'll tell you a little bit about my healthiest relationship, which is my current relationship. I think some of the things that make us really kind of flow is open communication, and part of that is not taking anything personal. And what that means is so I think one of the best things in any relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's a long-term relationship, whether it's whatever it is having little check-ins. So I'll just randomly turn to Tara now and then and just be like, hey, what am I not giving you? What are you lacking? And it's not anything that I feel is, I think a lot of times when people talk about lack, they take it as criticism. And sometimes just a reminder of, hey, I know I haven't done anything around the house to help out in the last week. Just been kind of on my mind on other things. I'll jump in and partake, and I'll do my side of things, self-awareness, and being able to laugh about it. I think that's a huge part of don't take anything too seriously.
I love that. That's powerful, Nathan. You're throwing some deep stuff at us now, because I think
that's a message.
Yes, straight in. I think it's so important, isn't it? I've been in various relationships, and it's now, and I'm not in one at the moment, and it's that what is so true in terms of being able to turn around and go, what do you need from me right now? It's so true, so obvious. And someone being able to feel safe enough and comfortable enough to go, do you know what? I know you love me, but I just need that extra hug this morning. Like, I'm feeling a bit shit. I'm feeling a bit low. Or can we just be a bit playful? Can we go and have some fun? Can we go on a date? I think as well, for me, what I'm learning is fun plays a huge aspect in any form of relationship. Again, you mentioned friendships there, or even with your family. And yeah, thanks for sharing that. I've taken that tip away for whenever I find my dream Prince Charming that's going to come riding along on his horse. I'm joking.
You're looking to be the next Duchess?
Going to be the next Duchess. Yeah, no, I'm only joking. But I think fun and communication definitely are, they're overcomplicated, because I think people think they need to be grand and it needs to be a real, let's sit down and be intense about all of this. But what I love is, like, you just throw it out there. What do you need from me right now? What can I give you?
What do you need today? What do you need
today? I think that's epic, and I'm gonna steal that. I've put that in my bag of goodies.
I think too many people put it like they feel like it needs to be consistent forever, and it's just not the reality. You're not going to be able to provide all the needs every day, all day, and meet your own. I mean, sometimes we'll honestly look at each other. People say we'll take alone time as like, oh, you don't want to be around me. And sometimes it's like, she'll look at me or I'll look at her and be like, hey, can you go in the other room for the rest of the evening? Because, like, it's just, sometimes you just need your own space. And it has nothing to do with the other person. Sometimes it's just, you just need your own energy and not, you know,
Yeah.
and that's perfectly fine. I remember I was 20 and I was dating this girl, and I was like, I just need like a day to myself. And the reaction I got was, well, if that's how you feel, you can have every day to yourself. And it's like, whoa, okay. First off, you took that way too personally.
Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for the suggestion. I'm off.
Sounds like a plan. So tell me a little bit about like what like your friendships. What makes your friendships like, I mean, do you have like a lot of friends? Do you have more of like a lot of what else is it called? Like
Yeah. Companionship and friendship and
friendships, or maybe someone that you don't necessarily talk to all the time, but like when you see them, you can always just have a drink and start as pick
yeah.
up where you left off.
I think I've always been someone. I have lots of friends, but none of them are, how can I word this? You know how there are some people that have a tight-knit group of friends that are around them, they see them all the time, every day, they're on the phone texting. I don't know how people can do that.
That feels like a lot to me. That's overwhelming. I can't. I
Can't.
can't do that.
I'm very fortunate that I've got friends all over the world. I've learned, and I don't know if I speak for you here, I've learned that quality over quantity is key. And the true friendship comes from, you don't have to speak to them every day, but when you see them, even if it's been years, it's like you saw each other yesterday, or you've literally just got off the phone from them. And I have actually a lot of my friends are like this, but my friend who I normally travel with, we went through a phase, and we still do to a certain extent, but for the first time we're actually in the same country and living in the same city, which is really bizarre. But we used to like message and be like, right, we haven't seen each other in a while, what country should we meet up in? And then we plan a whole trip around just so we could catch up. So the most recent one is we did a month in Turkey, and that was us touching base, and we went separate ways. So it's just but even in romantic relationships, when I look at what hasn't worked out, is because there's that need for intensity. And actually, I don't think that's what a relationship for me needs to be. There needs to be that clear communication, but like, it's like you can go off on your own adventures, but you can also go on adventures together and like share experiences, but also be like, you never guess what I did. And then they can go, yeah, and I got up to this. And that's kind of been missed in past romantic relationships.
You seem like a very independent person, so like you kind of, which is nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people,
I think it comes with, and maybe from a male perspective, you can let me know. From my perspective, I feel like actually, because I'm so independent, that can come across quite threatening to a certain extent, because not threatening, that's a really intense word. I don't mean that, but in terms of roles in a relationship, of that both being needed, and what position do you both play. And I think I'm learning that I need to be more vulnerable and more willing to allow that other person in my life to do things for me, or because they want to, not because they're trying to control a situation, but because it's like, well, maybe I want to treat you. Like, I go through phases where I'm like, if we're going out for dinner, it's 50-50, like there's no expectations. And actually that can put people's backs up. Like, I've had that. And it's a bit like, well, no, I invited you out, let me pay. It's like, well, no, because what happens if that comes with an expectation that I'm not willing to give you? And it's a fascinating place to be in when you are like, I can depend on myself and I don't need anyone.
I mean, yeah, I do think that there comes a time where too much, I want to go back to the independency, but I was regarding as far as paying for the bill, I think there's too much stigma on it. Like, like I've been in relationships where I say I invite them to go out, go out to eat, I pay for the dinner, and then like the next 3 or 4, like I wasn't allowed to pay. And as a guy, I'm kind of like, okay, that's fine. I don't like, yeah, you can pay. I'll I'll save my money. Like, and I don't feel like I lot I like there's no I don't feel like it's a role exchange. Just like for me, it's like, all right, cool. You can if that's what you want to treat me, I'll be treated. No, that's fine. I do like the 50-50 at times, I think
Yeah,
it's get into I mean, now I'm in a relationship where it's like I don't identify as who's paying. It's
yeah,
more of like, um it's a tribe, and whatever money comes into the household is the household's money. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, whose
mm,
card is it that we're using today? It's just wherever that, I
yeah.
don't separate it from hers or mine, or,
I
you know,
like that.
it,
Yeah.
it's
I think it is definitely, I suppose it comes back to, sorry, it
no,
comes back to that open conversation when you start a relationship, right? And kind of, well, where do you both sit, and finding that natural balance where it doesn't have to be this big topic. It's just like, here we go. Yeah, this one's on me. Do you know what I mean? Like you just
yeah.
said, it's, well, we're together, so let's just enjoy the moment.
Sometimes
And
it's just like who's got the cash on. Like, you have cash, I don't have cash. Oh, you got cash,
yeah,
all right. Well, just do the cash, because I mean,
yeah.
it's not overthought. I think
Mm,
I do think that when you try to compartmentalize the money aspect, when you get into a longer term relationship, I think short terms, obviously there's, or when you're building a relationship, there's different expectations. But as you get in a longer term relationship, it's not really me versus you. It's
yeah,
just you're
us.
it's us. It's whatever I
Mm,
make and I pull in. It's if she needs something, she's
yeah,
got it. If she pulls in money, then and that goes
yeah,
towards something. It's not
yeah.
it's not
Not
it's
an
not
issue, not a topic.
say that again.
It's not a topic. I suppose, like you said, over time,
Yeah.
what I've mentioned there, it's because they're not long-term lifetime partners. So
Yeah.
actually those topics can be the constant excuse of keeping it kind of a distant relationship, I guess. And that comes with so many other things being threaded through that. But over time, if you're committed to someone fully, those topics don't become the be all and end all of every situation. They don't become the big monsters in the
I think
room.
in the beginning, sometimes money can be used as a way to build up a wall
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
like a defense mechanism. And I think like going back to kind of having personal space or whatnot, do you think a lot of that and the wall has a lot to do with you have a group of people that are very comfortable with themselves and being independent and not necessarily needing that attention, and you have others that, I mean, there are people that just don't like being alone, like for any short period of time.
Yeah, I think it's strange because I am a huge people person. I love being around people. Over time, I've learned to love being around myself. And I suppose as my confidence has grown, my expectations of what I would like in my life, whoever my match is, it's then making sure it stays realistic. I always believe people have like so much potential. And sometimes when you meet a partner that doesn't see that in themselves as a fixer, which is who I am, you
Oh, that's not
without
good.
even
Don't.
without even realizing, it's like, oh, but you can go bigger, you can take that next step, of course you can. Now I sit here, that's younger me, now I sit here and go, it's not my place to ever push someone down the road unless they ask me to direct them to, it's not my position. So I think, again, there's a lot of learning. Young naive Sarah was like, oh yeah, but if I'm here, I can bring them up to here as well, but actually their here is different to mine. And now I see that no one's equal, no one's exactly the same, and expectations of self changes. And it's fascinating when you reflect really like that on relationships and intimacy. And
I think it's I think I used to be, a fixer as well, but I also think that I had relationships where it's almost like they like the idea of you, but they want you to be a different version of you.
Absolutely.
To fit in whatever their ideal situation is. And that is what can get it's is there actually anything wrong with me that you're trying to fix, or is it that you just want a certain type of person and you don't know how to find it?
No, I think, like, I personally, it'd be really interesting if you spoke to any of my exes, what they would actually say.
Let's bring them on the next Zoom call. Come on,
Could you imagine? No, I could imagine. I will avoid that one. But I think that, what I was going to say, I just believe that everyone, do you know what it is? And it's not just about ambition, it isn't just about business. If they say they want to achieve something, I find it really hard when it's just words. I find that really hard. It's like, okay, you're saying that you want X, go do it. Go, even if it's really hard, or you want to show up to be a type of person, be that person. Stop talking about it and do it. But again, I think as you grow up, as you go through these experiences, you kind of pick out personality traits. There's not one person that I've dated that I sit there and go, I absolutely hate them. Oh my goodness. Some have been challenging because our personalities were either so similar or so different. So it came with its pros and cons. So I think relationships are just fun anyway, aren't they, in terms of the trial and error? Well, and the aim is to end up like you and Tara.
I think, one of the reasons it works is because I took the time, to date and to find out, I think anytime you end a relationship, you find out more stuff about yourself. Because you kind of think of, oh, well, I really don't, you know what? I didn't like that. Or I could have done this differently. And then you bring that into the next relationship without putting any of those other experiences from others onto the next person.
Yes.
Meaning, like, every person is a new person. Yes. It's not going to be, they're not going to do the same thing. You might see little, like, maybe a similarity, but doesn't mean that similarity is going to have the same outcome.
Yeah. But they say that, don't they? You attract similar, or you attract people that will have the same lessons until you've learnt it. And I think, it's quite interesting because I was faced with a situation who had the extreme personalities of everything I said that I was attracted to, but actually weren't healthy for me. And it was like everything on steroids. And I sat there and I was like, actually,
too much.
Yeah, I was like, actually, this isn't what I want. So then it made me question, well, what is it that you do want? And it's like, well, you do want fun. You want to be able to have open conversations, and suddenly the real stuff comes up, doesn't it? Life throws some curveballs, as you say, at us to teach us lessons. And as our self-awareness grows, you sit there and go, just want someone I can have some fun with, who's got my back when I need it. And
but then like at the same time, not only fun. Like, I think fun is
fire.
You gotta, but like, when I got stuff that I gotta do tomorrow, it's like, all right, does it need to be up until 3:00 every night having, what I mean? It's being able to have fun, but also have that balance. I think sometimes, like, people can get attracted to, I want someone to have fun, and then it's like, oh no, that's too much.
My situation recently. But I think then it comes down to definitions of what you mean by fun. Is that fun like let's laze around and watch a movie? and just be in our pajamas and eat some junk food or healthy food, because we don't want to advertise too much junk food, but you know, um, joking, bit of a chocolate
Netflix and
bar.
carrots. Is that what? Is that what that is? Just
You know, balances everything.
yeah.
So I think, yeah, it's it's trying not to get too much in your head is what I would say, and fun being, do you want to just chill out or go for a walk, or do you know what, do you fancy going to the pub and having a few drinks, whatever combination
Like
you
we
find.
like I'll say even having fun like Tara and I, for example, like we like to go out and have fun, but we'll make everyday tasks fun.
Yes.
Like the mundane things. Like we don't necessarily say, all right, you know, one person does a grocery shopping, the other person does this. Like we'll both go and do errands together, and then we'll make a day of it. So we go get Starbucks, we go grocery shopping, we go to, you know,
Mm.
we try to make the mundane things fun and kind of like a group thing, so that way it doesn't become mundane.
Yeah.
You know,
And because actually you're doing it together and you're not becoming dependent on the other person to do it as
yeah,
well, isn't there? Yeah,
yeah.
fascinating. What's a fun story as we get ready to round it all up? Tell us a
Right.
fun story that makes your relationship happy, joyful, whatever word you want to put to your relationship.
Mm. Ooh. I mean, every day is kind of like, you know, I don't know.
You're going to just end on that.
I know, just like it's just, I don't know. I mean, like we definitely like to try different things. Like we'll kind of, you know, we'll go dancing or um trying to think of like a specific story that kind of represents. And like I said in the beginning, like, you know, we can just look at each other randomly and be like, what do you need today? It's like, well, I
Yeah.
need this. All right. Or, you know, we go to, you know, I need to go get something to the store. Okay, well, you know, she'd be like, you bringing the dogs? And I'll be like, I guess we can make it a whole thing. It ends up bringing, like, we bring the dogs, she comes along, we go to the grocery store, we'll crank up some music, we'll sing on our way. And
Yeah.
I I really think we don't assign roles.
Mm.
So
Oh,
and what
yeah.
that means is that, like, whoever's available to do something and you see it needs to get done, do it. Like, um, you know, if if I gotta go to work and laundry needs to get done, I'll be like, hey, can you start the laundry? If she's got work, I'll do the laundry. If um, you know, she's better at cooking, so like what tends to happen with that is, because I don't find enjoyment out of cooking, is that all right, we got 10 minutes here. Um, at least when the first couple years, like when it was my turn to cook, I would say, so where do you want to order from? And I would just buy dinner because it's easier for me. So, you
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think it's that
know.
honesty. It's full circle, isn't it? It's being honest and being like, I don't have any pleasure in doing this. However, I will balance it out by treating you to X. And
Yeah.
what I really love with everything that you're saying is, I don't know how to word it, so sorry if it gets said in the wrong way, is there's not these huge grand topics or gestures. You found like a balance to make it all inclusive. Does that make sense? So like
Yeah.
the idea of fun, it's not because you're doing extremes, it's, and I know I laugh, but actually like every day there's fun or laughter or some silliness. And then it's the same when you were talking about money. Well, it's just hours, like, and chores, like all those jobs that other people be going, oh, I need someone in my life to take the bins out, or I need someone to come and do the washing for me. It's like, when I just do it and we do it together and we take that pressure off. I love that. And it's very rare, I feel. So keep sharing that story.
Well, it definitely makes it less of like, I, I think sometimes people get into, well, I want to find someone to do stuff for me. And that is a very, you're gonna run into more issues than not,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because eventually that person's gonna get tired of cleaning the same toilet. You know what I mean? Like you have to take responsibility for your life and for as a group. You can't
Yeah.
just be one person doing everything, and or
No,
doing the same
definitely,
thing.
absolutely. What's your view on the whole idea of your partner is your best friend? Because I feel like there's two, like I've had partners who I see as my best friends, but then the romance, then it's kind of like, no, he's my best friend. Like, then
Well,
it's
I mean,
just-
I think like that's
I
what
think
makes everyday fun for us, is that we are friends,
yeah,
right?
but the
So
dynamics, I suppose definition, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, but I mean, I would say that you um and maybe I'm not the right person to ask. I mean, like I have my best friends, but like I'm not talking to them even every week. Um,
Mm,
you know, so I think it's good to have other relationships, because you can't expect one person to be the all. Meaning like
yeah,
you do need to have like as a woman, I think that it's good to have another woman best friend that you can talk things out with or share different aspects with.
mm,
You're just going to get different point of view. um I think, but being friends in the relationship, I think, is what helps us.
I know, absolute friendship, yes. But again, I suppose I keep talking in terms of definition, don't I? In terms of when you, and I don't know what it's like in America, but it's like, oh, this person's my best friend and this person's my best friend, but there comes an expectation of what that best friend offers. And I suppose I'm talking to someone who it's like, oh no, we're close, we're intimate, we're friends, and that's what makes it fun. But then your definition of best friend may be different to, I don't do best friends, so to say. I don't
Well, I
really
don't, I mean, like I have people that I'm close with, and
yeah.
but
But the
I pull
expectations of
different
friendship,
things from each of those friends.
yeah.
I think people that have definitions of best friends or expectations of, you know, of certain partners, I think that, it's the unwritten contract, right? The invisible
Yeah.
contract that you're saying expectation on a person, and what that expectation of what they should offer to you as a best friend,
Yeah, I think
rather
that's
than
probably
just
where I was.
accepting that person for whatever it is that they offer you.
Yeah.
I don't know what, like, sorry, I know you gotta go here in a second.
No, I know, but I love that because I think it's the expectations, isn't it? What I expect from my friends will be different. Say the expectations to someone who I spend a lot of more time with and more intimate with, or whatever. There are going to be different conversations, different moments had with both of us. Like you wouldn't go and meet up with your friends and maybe have the same conversations as you do with your partner. So there's
Yeah.
that. What roles does everyone play to a certain extent, but without holding them too high on a pedestal to meet your expectations?
I mean, I think
of
it's about accepting what that relationship is for what it is, for what
Yeah.
that person can offer you. I think sometimes people have expectations of best friends of because
Yeah.
they want that best friend to be their platonic partner.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that
Mm.
need that conversation. Like, I need to touch base with you every day. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I think that sometimes pulls away from uh, the romantic relationship, right? Because you're having someone else feed you emotionally than maybe your partner in choice. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
that we could really kind of get into that.
That's a big topic to cover.
Yeah, I hope this brought joy.